I'm Kevin,
And I'm Larry.
and we're doing Stuff and Things.
And today we're going to do a movie review because we both saw a movie recently.
Yeah, and we like to talk about serious things, but why not just have fun as well? That's what this is all about.
That's right. That's right.
So
I did have fun at this movie too.
Yeah, the movie is Captain Marvel. So if you haven't seen it, there could be spoilers potentially. You have been warned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I have a little interesting backstory. I get tired of the social climate in which we live, where everybody has to use their celebrity platform to jump on causes or run other people down and stuff. And I'm not really proud of that reaction, but I have it. And so I had it in relationship to the lead star in Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, I think is her name. And I don't know Brie. I wouldn't have even been able to pick her photo out of a lineup. Not that I'm inferring that that's why you do it. But I read a bunch of stuff about how her saying she didn't need 40-year-old white men. And I just go, gosh, why does it always have to boil down to one group against another? And so I was kind of prejudiced against the movie because of that. And I remember riding into work one day just before I saw it, and I felt like the Lord convicted me of just allowing other people to form my opinions and inflame my emotions. And so I repented over that, and it put me in a really good position to go see the show because I wasn't hoping for its failure, which is kind of a perverse reaction just because you get offended about something. So anyway, I went with a really open heart and actually enjoyed the movie quite a bit.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun movie. I think that it just made a lot of plot holes for other MCU movies personally, but as a movie by itself, it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by making plot holes?
So all of a sudden, the Tesseract is in. I think they kind of explained that it was in Project Pegasus at one point, but not really. So all you see, if you only watch the main movies, is that they found it in the plane that went down with Captain Steve Rogers, and then they had it in the underground base. And then Loki has it all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's the same Tesseract?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that was a little meh to me. I didn't like that necessarily. And then
where did the Tesseract come from in the first place in the overall?
In the overall, it came from Asgard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, that was one of my only negative things. And the other plot hole, is that if she's so powerful, why didn't she not come back earlier? Why did Nick Fury decide to wait so long to page her? That was just stupid in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't page her till after Thanos snaps, and it's like, I get that it's an ace in the hole. Ace in the hole? Is that the term?
That's the term.
Okay. Ace in the hole for them, but it's like, you would have thought when Loki was there, he should have called her. And then when Ultron was taking over, he should have called her. But those are the only two things that really bothered me about
so
it.
that second point was one of the ones that kind of bothered me a little bit about it. Going, where are you, girl? Where have you been? You know?
Right.
And I understand that she was trying to get out there and solve that intergalactic war that was going on forever between the
Kree
and the other ones.
Yeah, I don't remember the other ones' names, but
the Krill and Kree, maybe. But essentially, it was like, okay, so when I saw the magnitude of her superpowers,
right, when she was flying around and blowing up those bombs,
oh my gosh, it was really impressive, and really cool. But then I thought, okay, now I'm all for helping refugees,
right?
But go end the war. It's in like 1970 or something like that.
Yeah.
Go end the war and get these, few hundred refugees relocated, and then come home. And now, granted, she didn't understand. She didn't know who she was,
right,
for a long time. So maybe that's part of it.
Yeah.
But that was at the beginning.
And then they also kind of talked about how they had to get these people to a different place, like different galaxy.
Yeah.
Or universe even.
Yeah.
And so that might take a long time. I don't know.
Yeah, 20 years. I was with you. I mean, when Asgard was being destroyed, you would have thought maybe that would have been a time to reach out. Certainly when Ultron, what was he doing? He was like tearing the whole world up, right? Getting
Yeah.
ready to destroy it. So yeah, that was a little bit weird. But anyway, she's back in the picture now, and
Yeah.
there's some interesting things about it. It was like a coming of age story, and I liked that.
Mhm.
She was reunited with friends in her past and things.
Yeah. I thought that the plot twist was really not well written. Like, you kind of get that sense from the very beginning that she's working for the bad guys at the beginning. At least I did. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, they could have done something else there. But it was a fun movie. I really
It
did.
was
I
fun.
did really enjoy
It was fun.
it. And
I really did enjoy, when I'm talking about coming of age, I enjoyed her there against the intelligence.
right.
When, and this made me think, it almost made me cry actually while I was watching the movie, which that's not a movie very many people are going to cry in. I get that, so I'm kind of a weepy guy. But she's standing there, and this threat against her is that the power that they gave her, kind of represented by that blue thing on her neck,
Right.
and the blueness of her power. The power that they gave her was all that she has and was. That they pulled her out of wreckage or whatever, and they made her who she is. And come to find out, the control, that power was meant to control her,
Yeah.
not empower her. Because when she yanked that baby out and started to believe in what was going on that she had picked up from that encounter with the Tesseract and all that energy and everything, she was something to be reckoned with.
Right.
I mean, like beyond anything.
Yeah. And I feel like it's almost like a wake up call for society, and we don't even see it. That Hollywood is even telling us to wake up.
Yeah.
So like, we're in these shackles. Like, let's wake up. And
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was a fun movie.
That part I really, really enjoyed. And then when that started to be displayed a little bit, and the one thing she did owe the Krill or the Kree,
Kree.
was that suit. That suit was pretty darn cool.
The suit. And also her combat.
Skills.
They taught her how to fight.
Yeah.
And that was really fun at the very beginning when she has her hands like in those things still.
Uh-huh.
And she's just still kicking all those guys' butts.
Yeah, no, that was pretty fun. That was fun. And I loved the whole little matrix thing that came over her face. So she had a spacesuit going. There was a lot of cool stuff there. I really loved the courage of her friends too when they finally got reunited.
Right.
Mom and her daughter and stuff. So there was a lot that I liked about it. So it did make me think about other superheroes, especially with like the new Avengers movie coming up.
Right.
So there's a real diverse hierarchy of superpowers among the Marvel people.
Yeah.
And not to diminish anybody, because like one of my favorite characters is Black Widow. That's her name, isn't it?
Mhm.
Black Widow, Johansson.
Yeah.
But she's just good at what she does, right? That's her superpower.
Yeah, she's just an assassin.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, but you got to kind of put her or some of the Wakanda people on the bottom end of
Right.
the power grid. And then generally, I think Hulk and up to this point, Hulk and Thor were kind of at the top of it.
Right.
But don't you think she kind of like blows through that?
Yeah, I'd say she's past them. She has a Tesseract power inside of, like an Infinity Stone power inside of her.
You think that'll play into this whole
It might.
reversing thing?
Yeah. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense why Nick didn't ever call her. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, Nick.
Yeah.
Or Fury.
Yes.
I might be one of the
Guys that offends him by calling him Fury. Yeah.
one of the guys that he knows is lying to him because he doesn't call him Fury. He calls him Nicholas.
So that was cool. It was good to see that Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. guy that died,
Oh yeah, Phil Coulson.
Phil Coulson. Good to see him again. And
I thought the CG was very good on making Samuel L. Jackson look young.
yes.
So I remember when Star Wars, which one was it? It was the one in between Episode 3 and Episode 4,
Okay.
and they like CG'd what's her face, Carrie Fisher into it, and you're like, you could just tell like something was off. You're like, doesn't look right.
Yeah.
It's really close, but I know that's not a real person.
Right.
That's CG. This, they had Samuel L. Jackson actually play the part, and then they CG'd over him or
Yeah.
whatever, but you couldn't really tell.
I know. No, it was really good. I
Yeah.
thought that was really good. I did come out kind of liking Brie Larson as a character. I also liked that scene at the end where she's up against her Kree trainer,
Uh-huh.
and he wants to try to settle, draw her into his terms. And she
Right.
goes, "I don't have to prove anything to you." And she's blasting back there. Now, my wife, Vicky, we saw it together, and she saw those things as almost bordering on too many homages to other movies. Like that last scene where he wanted to fight her and she just blasted him back against the rocks out where we used to live in Southern California. That was fun to watch too. Um, she thought that was kind of robbing from that scene in Indiana Jones where the guy's there with the swords and he
Yeah.
just pulls out the gun. And she said there were 3 or 4 things that she thought were like pretty big homages to Star Wars or to that
Right.
or to even Star Trek. I think she mentioned one that she saw. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that everything creative has already been explored in some sense. And so I don't mean that in a negative way at all, because you can always change things or add things or put two things that have already been created together. Since we have the ability to have those records of movies and stuff, it's a lot easier to see these things pop up again.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's wrong to do that, and like it makes for a powerful scene anyway.
Mhm.
So I think it's a good thing.
I think so too. I remember I was studying novel writing one time, and one of the weirdest suggestions, seemed weird at the time, but now I understand it, says if you're going to be a first-time novelist, what you ought to do is go get a novel that was really successful, and then just change the characters,
Yeah.
change the nature of the antagonism, and change the plot. And I thought, well, that seems like kind of a cousin to plagiarism or something like that. But I think you're right. There's only so many colors in the spectrum. There's only so many musical notes on a scale.
Right.
So the combinations as we move through time are going to get more and more. So you might as well just go with it and let the audience or let the observer enjoy it.
Right.
And that I did. I thought that was kind of cool. Because I like stuff like that. I hate it when people have artificial conflicts in movies. And, it's not great confessing this as a pastor, but in those old Western movies when a guy was trying to rape everybody in town and kill everybody and you had the drop on him, just take him out. don't leave him around to come in and kill a bunch of other people by the end of the thing, So I did enjoy that. The cat was kind of cool, but I didn't understand why it scratched Fury. That didn't make any sense.
I think just to give a story of how Zai got messed up.
Yeah.
I thought that was dumb too.
Yeah, it seemed like it was very out of character because the cat had been pretty protective.
And then when the little girl is like talking to her mom about, no, mom, you have to do that. That was really cliche. And it's like, if that mom was the character that they built her up to be, she would have just done it. Like,
yeah.
So I didn't necessarily like that.
Yeah.
I get like trying to make a powerful younger character or whatever.
That's
but
I
hate
I do think that too. I understand. I don't understand. Okay, so I'm white. I'm a male. I have to deal with all the norms in society that play into my favor, and I really appreciate powerful women. But there was some stuff in there about that was just unnatural. I mean, It was pushed over the edge, and all of a sudden you're sitting there going, okay. As movies go, I didn't feel lectured at a lot by it. Everything wasn't ecological destruction, disaster, and everything wasn't this, that, or the other. So, but anyway, I liked it pretty well. Now, I one other add-on to it is one of the trailers for the next Avengers movie.
Haven't seen any of those.
Okay, well, obviously she's in it.
Right.
And there's some interaction between her and Thor that I just loved. It was really, really fun. It was very low-key. So, and Kevin's big on not knowing anything about movies that are coming up, so I won't go into more detail about it.
Thank you.
But having her character inserted in the dilemma post-snap makes a lot of sense. I mean, it opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
Because she has an enormous amount of power. But anyway, I see your timeline on the Tesseract. That could be confusing.
Definitely.
Because that means for 30 years, all while this other stuff was going on, that cat was hanging out. What are they called?
Flarkin.
Flarkin. So the Flarkins were hanging out with Fury.
Yeah.
And had the Tesseract. But then how did Loki get the Tesseract?
Well, Loki gets it in the beginning of Avengers, the first Avengers.
Yeah, but
It's
that
in-
wasn't before the cat had it.
Yeah, but the cat pukes it up at the end of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
What
So
I'm
then,
saying
then
is,
Fury has it, and then they take it down to the bunker, and Fury brings in Doctor.
oh, okay, I've got the timeline now. Yeah,
Yeah.
the end of the movie when the cat barfed on his desk, that was preceding the first of the Avengers movies, but not preceding Captain America
Right.
before he got lost in the Arctic.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, the Tesseract was in his ship?
Yeah.
plane?
So in Captain America, the first Avenger, Red Skull gets the Tesseract out of the wall that is in some church.
Okay. So that would have been in the 40s.
Yeah, that's in the 40s. And then at the very end of Captain America, the ship goes down with Captain Steve Rogers and the Tesseract in it, in the ice.
Right. Okay, and that's still 40s, maybe, or
Yeah.
50.
So then what gets really confusing about it is that at the end of Captain America, like the post-credit scenes is where they like find the ship and everything and Steve Rogers and they like bring him back. And then he wakes up and he's like, what? This isn't that game. And then you see him like running around in New York to like bring him into present time. So you assume that they just found him recently and that he just woke up.
Yeah.
Which means they just found the Tesseract recently.
Which would have been in the 90s.
Yeah. Or the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like late 2000s.
So that's what creates the gap between the Tesseract being.
Right. So then what the gap is that I guess they actually found him a lot sooner than what the scene shows. And so then they
It took
had
a long time to wake him up or something.
Yeah. And then they actually had it for a while at Project Pegasus. And then the Flarkin had it, and then the Flarkin pukes it up, and then they have it again at the other project. I forgot. I think that might still be Project Pegasus that they take it back to in the underground bunker.
Okay,
And then Loki gets it.
showing my ignorance of comic books and various things, the Tesseract is not the thing that was in the Transformers, right?
That's correct.
What is that thing? That power
That's the
square?
Allspark.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Those powerful boxes, you can't keep them
I know.
separated.
And then the Tesseract was actually just containing the Space Stone
Oh,
of the Infinity Stone. So it was the
Interesting.
space one.
interesting. So how did Thanos get that?
He gets it at the very beginning of the first of the third movie.
Okay. Okay. That's very confusing.
Yeah,
But yeah, you should go see Captain Marvel if you haven't.
yes, you should. It's a good movie.
And it'll help set up some expectations for the one coming out.
Yep, Endgame in a month.
Yeah,
less than a month.
Isn't that crazy that it's coming out that fast?
Yeah,
It's a big movie.
so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna see that one.
So do you think that, and this is not a spoiler, this is just questions, do you think that a bunch of people are going to be recovered?
I mean, I just feel like they're going to, but I don't want them to. I feel like they're going to. We'll see.
You feel like that's just kind of a cheap plot ploy?
Yeah.
I didn't understand why they weren't more effective at using the time stones, particularly Doctor Strange.
Right.
I mean,
he went through 16 million different futures.
yeah, but why couldn't he have just? Here's what I was thinking. Okay, so you think back earlier in the movie when him and his buddy were making those holes and pulling people through them and cutting them in half with them.
Yeah.
Why, with all the Avengers there, why couldn't he just make one of those time portals and get Thanos' arm in it and close
Or
it?
his head in it.
Yeah,
or-
anything, and close it, and he's in like a million pieces,
Yeah.
That seemed dumb. And then I also thought that the one guy that I didn't mind turning into Ash was Star-Lord, because he had so little control over his emotion that they just about had the project done,
Yeah.
and he freaked out, and I thought that was so weak as far as writing and stuff.
Yeah. There was a lot of not good stuff going on in that first Infinity War movie.
It was, yeah. Go see
But-
Captain Marvel.
Go see Captain Marvel. That's our verdict.
Yes,
Worth seeing.
we're seeing.
All right.
As long as you get popcorn.
You don't have to. I don't eat popcorn.
Get popcorn.
All right, and a soda, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Or tea.
Yeah.
Or coffee.
Water.
Water. Water would be good.
Yeah.
It's a long movie, though. Not as long as the next one's going to be.
Right.
You might want to hold off on the sodas.
Or just bring a ball catheter
Yeah, because I think the next movie's going to be like 3 hours long
or more.
or more.
Yeah.
They were discussing having intermission.
Wow.
Been a long time since they've had intermission in a movie.
They did it for Titanic, I think.
Yeah, I think they did for Titanic.
But now all movies are as long as Titanic, so it's like,
I know. Maybe our bladders are bigger now,
maybe.
or more under control. Okay, that's probably
it.
a good sign to end this.
All right. Bye.
Bye.